We're talking about completely different. You're saying
because you won't answer this one. Do you think that's important?
So
or no?
here's the deal.
Is that yes or no?
So,
although accountability, truth, and transparency would look better than anything else.
Isn't that transparency when we did a report?
That I pulled this from, that I found it, yeah. I'm talking about the report. You see, you're going in circles.
I'm not going in circles.
But you don't want to answer.
Here's the deal. It's
you
not
keep
about,
saying from it.
I'm not running away.
You're running away because it's a simple question. But do you think they should know about this report?
Do they know about it now?
We're back out at the DeLand Police Department in DeLand, Florida. We're here following up in reference to a previous video, which if you haven't seen it, please see the pinned comment. You got to see that one. It's about an internal investigation that this department did into one of their own officers, Corporal Damon Clark. And there are some pretty disturbing allegations. And these allegations were brought forth by fellow coworkers, other cops. And if you know how things work, you know it's got to be pretty bad if other cops turn in other cops. But since some of these allegations involve minors, and some incidents allegedly took place at a high school, I wanted to make sure that the school and the school board knew about these allegations, because it's immediately clear to me that they should, in my opinion, and regardless of what the department finds, the school board, and the parents should know about this so they can make their own determinations and at least be informed. I previously asked this department to contact the school and the school board, be transparent and let them know, and then I contacted the school and the school board. I sent them a copy of this internal investigation report. From there, I learned that they had not been notified by the DeLand Police Department. They found this report concerning. They found the fact that the department had not let them know concerning. So we're here to find out why. Does the department feel like the school board, and the parents don't need to know, even though this officer still works here? Are they going to claim, it's just allegations, which they don't know for a fact if it's true or not, but even though it involves kids, they're willing to take the chance, not let people come to their own determinations and conclusions? Are they going to say, well, it's public record, they could find out, knowing full well nobody's going to know about this unless someone points it out to them? How do you think they're going to play it? We're going to find out. And I also just happened to run into Captain Milan, who happens to be the person who did this internal investigation. And he's the perfect person to ask about this. Let's see what answers we get. I also have to put in a request, a records request. I'm looking for any email correspondence starting yesterday until, present day, whenever they pull it, from, I guess, I don't know if just one person or just police administration, anything to or from the school board or DeLand High School. It turned out I got with the school board about this IA, and I asked the department to make them aware of it, but I guess they hadn't, and they found it very concerning after reading it. Hey, I know you're not going to comment, so I'm not going to ask you. Okay. Is there anybody here that will comment on? We're just trying to find out why the school wasn't notified about this.
I'm the last person here of rank, so you don't have to come back.
There's nobody here now?
Me and the road staff.
Who's the deputy chief?
Kistar?
I think his car's back there. So you're the only, we already know you don't comment on police-related issues. Do you know why the school board wasn't notified?
Not a clue.
Do you think it's important for the school to know about things involving children?
Not comment.
You're not comment. Do you understand how that looks?
Not comment. Anything else?
So how do we find out about that?
You've made your request.
I've made my request for the emails, right? But who can comment on why they didn't let the school board know?
You said you want to talk to Dice. He'll be back here on Monday.
Well, yeah, that was kind of about a different thing, but I guess I'll have to get with him too. So you're the highest ranking right now that you know, that you can contact right now in the building?
Yes.
But you won't comment on police-related issues?
It's not my place.
It's not your place? What's that?
Anything else?
I was just hoping you would be have some kind of relation to the police department.
No, not comment.
Lieutenant Mathis again. So he won't talk about police-related issues. It makes sense. You wouldn't go to a pizza shop and expect him to talk about pizza. He also says he's the highest ranking here, but we're about to find Captain Milan. He'll clear it up, right? Warning. This next encounter may be painful to watch and listen to, but you got to watch this whole train wreck to get the full effect. I was absolutely amazed. If you think this story was disturbing so far, wait till you see this. Good, how you doing?
Doing good.
Who are you?
I'm sorry?
What's your title?
I'm Captain Milan.
Oh, you're a captain.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they said nobody was available. I was just trying to find out on this IA. The one with Clark.
Okay.
I'd requested that the police department let the school board or DeLand High School know about it so they can at least be aware.
Okay.
It turns out they hadn't, because I got in contact with them, and they found it very concerning, the allegations in here, and concerning that they hadn't been notified. Do you know why they weren't notified?
I couldn't tell you.
I think you did this one.
What is this here?
This is into Corporal Clark, the comments about age girls and pursuing domestic violence victims and stuff like that.
So there were allegations that were made against Officer Clark?
Right.
Or Corporal Clark?
Right.
Okay.
But some of them took place allegedly at the school and involving juveniles.
Okay.
And I don't know, my first thought was the school should know, at least, so they can make their own determination. Like if it was, if I was a parent of some of these kids, I would at least want to know what had gone on.
Did you look at the back end to see whether they were sustained or not?
Some things were, but regardless of any of that, don't you think the school should at least know to come to their own determination, their own conclusions, make their own,
And again, there were allegations that were made, correct?
Right.
They weren't sustained.
Some of them, right.
And you're talking about the comments that were made, correct?
Well, of the 8 things that they listed, 2 were sustained. But regardless of whether they're just honestly reading through this, I mean, I guess his word was believed more than the other officers, because my personal opinion, and of many, his reasoning and what he said the comments were not very, that sounded kind of silly. But regardless of who believes who, don't you think the school should at least know that these allegations were made of something that took place on their at the school?
And again, there were made allegations that were not sustained, right?
No.
I mean, if we put our opinions into that, that's not something that you're able to put. You're not supposed to put opinions into your investigation. Those are fact finding.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So throwing opinions away, wouldn't it be just fully transparent? And don't you think the school should know? Like, hey, here's our findings. You read it. Just so you know. You don't think it would be important for them to know?
And again, if it were sustained, obviously it would raise some kind of concerns, correct? But they weren't sustained.
It raises concerns regardless, but we're kind of going around in circles. Regardless if it was sustained or not, the fact that this exists, shouldn't they be aware of the existence of this at least?
That the allegations were made against this
of
officer?
This report. Don't you think this report, allegedly having some of this taking place on the school property, don't you think they should know about it? At least know about it. Hey, be aware, we're transparent. Here you go.
That's public record.
Right.
There's public record. I mean,
right.
Do we have to make it? Obviously, if there's something that was concerning.
I got to pause this right here, because what he's implying here is that this is not concerning. I find it concerning that he doesn't see this as concerning. This is not like one instance or one incident. This is a pattern. And if leadership doesn't find this concerning, I think we found the problem. This is painful to watch, and most of you are going to be cringing all the way through it. And it only gets worse from here. But you got to hear it. He keeps downplaying this. It's just allegations. Well, the allegations are from other cops. So how do they handle cops that lie in an investigation? Because clearly somebody did. Was it the accusers or the accused? I know this is frustrating to watch. Imagine how frustrating it was to be having this conversation in person. But keep watching. It's only just begun, I promise.
In reference to that corporal, obviously that would actually be brought forward. But you have to look at the investigation in itself to see whether the allegations were actually sustained or not.
But do you?
And they weren't. So let me just.
Do you personally know if those things are true or false? Personally, do you know for a fact, are they true or false?
What's the investigation?
No, I'm just saying you. Okay, so do you think they were true or false? Your personal opinion.
I'm not putting my personal opinion. I'm actually doing it based on the facts.
Exactly. So, and again, we're going in circles. So regardless of the findings, don't you think they should at least know about this? I will tell you, if I had kids that were part of this, and this report right here, the way it is right here, and I didn't know that it went on, I'd be a little bit pissed that I wasn't at least made aware. Because I, as a parent, or as the head of a school or a school board, whatever, have the right to at least know that these allegations are being made.
And again, that's your opinion, right? I mean, we can sit here, go back and forth, right?
Because I did reach out to the school board, because I asked the department, hey, should at least make them aware. And a lot of people agree, yeah, they should at least be aware of this. regardless, right? They can read it. They can come to, just like you came to your own determination in the investigation, they can read the investigation, come to their own determination.
Understood.
But because some of the allegations took place there, I feel, and many people feel, they should know. So I asked the department to make them aware. I don't know if they did or not.
Okay.
So I reached out to the school and to the school board myself and provided them copies of this just to make sure. And they told me they had not been made aware. They feel that they should have been made aware. They find this report concerning, and thanked me for making them aware. But I don't know why. Like you said, it's public record, right? But the average citizen walking around has no idea that this is sitting in there. So, but I don't know why I, as a citizen, have to pull this, bring it to the school board, make them aware, when the police department really should have done that.
I understand, and again, that's your opinion is in reference to that, right? I'm not
right,
questioning that in any way.
Yeah, yeah.
All I'm saying is that we looked at the allegations. The allegations were not sustained, and there goes the facts. Obviously, you have them in your hands. So.
Well, these I wouldn't say they're the facts; they're the findings. I'll say they're the findings.
Fact findings.
Because in our own investigation, and I'll tell you, it'll be out soon anyway. More people have come forward to us than are in this investigation. Okay. And they have provided, I won't even speak on things if they make allegations. I only speak on things once they provide evidence. Okay. And they've got solid evidence.
Our doors are open.
Right, and I understand that. Some people are afraid, which is why they haven't done things. Okay. But I will tell you, 100%, there's more. Okay. But like I said,
and definitely let them know. Obviously, if they're coming to you, let them know they're more than welcome to come to the police department.
We're trying to do that, and honestly, this has been encouraged by a lot of officers here. A lot of officers for weeks have been encouraging me, thanking me. Mm-hmm. I've had them coming up to me, telling me other things. Please don't stop. They apparently, many of them feel the same way I do from this, and honestly, a lot of them, they find this concerning too, and they find it. A lot of them have expressed concerns that the guy's still here. And the findings are what they are. So this, I wouldn't call these facts. I would call these findings.
Those are fact findings. And again, that's everybody. You're saying everybody. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's just
so fact findings. Someone, you were tasked with your opinion of the facts, right?
Well, it's not opinion. Those are facts. If you read the entire report,
many times, yeah. Right. And I read through the things, and I will say, as I've investigated many things, and we kind of have a he said, she said in some of this, right? Okay. And some of the officers said some things that sound believable, and they are similar to what other officers said. And then we got Clark when he's investigated, when he came in. Doesn't sound as credible, doesn't sound as believable to me.
And again, it's your opinion.
Right, just like it was yours. Okay. Right? Based on the same things. Okay. But regardless of that, my whole point here is regardless of anything here, because there's no facts, there's no evidence. The only real fact or evidence would be if everything that took place was on video, because video doesn't lie, right? Mm-hmm. And that wasn't, so you had to do, fact finding. That's what you had to do, and you had to come to determination. That's what an investigation is. You have to, look at what you can look at and come to conclusions, the best that you can. So with it not being on video and being no evidence, there is no way to tell what really did or really didn't happen. But I find it concerning that it wasn't the police department's first thought to be like, we should at least make the school aware. This allegedly took place, whether it did or didn't, the department concludes, whatever, but the allegations are there. We want to be transparent. We don't want the school to end up hearing about this from some random citizen like they did. We want to bring it forward and be like, hey, we got nothing to hide. Here's what happened, allegedly. We looked into it. They find it concerning.
And obviously there's nothing to hide. Obviously we got a report that we investigated the incident,
right,
correct?
Nobody knows to go looking for this. The school never knows this exists, right? Unless it's brought to their attention.
Okay.
Right?
And again, we're talking about allegations.
Exactly,
right?
100% allegations.
Okay.
Right?
If it was something that was actually sustained, obviously we'll make the steps to actually follow through, correct?
I think the allegations, the type of allegations that were made, along with other allegations and other things that have gone on with the same person, make those allegations about the minors even more concerning.
Okay, so all right, we're talking about this report, correct? We're not talking about additional information that you saying that you received.
This report with the juveniles and then the relationship with the violence victim, that's also in this report. We've got other victims too, but not in this report. So the juvenile comments and the relationship with the violence victim and the inappropriate photos concerning that the school wasn't being, and the school agrees, right? The school, I don't know if they've already been in contact, but they were troubled to find that this had gone on and they didn't know about it. This had allegedly gone on, that this investigation had gone on and they didn't know about it. You know, I think they have the right to know, and I think parents have the right to know, and they don't, which is why, and this is a big deal, man. This is something, I've read all sorts of, I've done investigations, I've read all sorts of investigations. This one is more troubling to me than many that I have read. Okay. And not just this report, this person in general, things I've looked into based on what happened here, or these allegations. And this is one of the more troubling ones. And given all of the elements, it's honestly, it's very troubling to me that the school wasn't made aware. I think that's a problem. And I know you say that's an opinion, but don't you think, don't you agree they should know about it? At least know about it.
So again,
know about this report.
Again, we're talking about your opinion as to whether they should know about it or not, correct? These were allegations, okay?
Right. No, I'm not. True or not?
Talking about that this person actually did something that,
right.
That obviously was very concerning to.
Right.
We have to report it.
Yeah, so, I got it. No, I'm just saying about this report. Don't you think they should know about this report?
Your opinion, right?
But do you think they should know about this report?
Do they know about it now?
Do you think they know? They should know.
Well, again, allegations. Why am I going to go
I'm
out
talking
there?
about the report. See, you're going in circles.
I'm not going in circles.
But you don't want to answer. You keep saying they're allegations, and I understand. So this report, the way that it is, don't you think they should know about this report?
I just finished telling you.
Well, you said the same thing again.
It's the same thing if somebody comes up and says that you actually pushed them and there's no proof that you actually pushed the person. Would you like me to put an affidavit in there for you?
Let me say this. If there is a report of, God forbid, a assault on a juvenile at the high school, you go and investigate it, you find that it didn't happen. Would you let the school know that it was reported, or would you keep it to yourself?
And again, there's two different things. That is
that's an
allegation.
You let the school
We're talking
know?
About sexual. We're talking about completely different. You're saying
because you won't answer this one.
I just finished saying that. If we didn't report it, it's because we didn't find it enough to report that.
And what I've been saying several times is, don't you think they should at least be aware of this report?
Again, we did not report it, correct? We didn't report it to the public, to the school board. Is that what you're saying?
You didn't, right?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So we didn't report it.
Do you think they should know about it?
Again, we're talking about allegations, and we're going to continue to go back
because we're going back in circles.
Okay,
and
I'll tell you what.
Okay, so let's say that you're right. These are allegations,
okay.
But this is an investigative report. Don't you think they should know about this?
And argue. I just
because you know the answer is yes, they should know.
I am not arguing.
And it's going to look bad if you agree. Although accountability, truth, and transparency would look better than anything else.
Isn't that transparency when we did a report?
That I pulled this from, that I found it. Yeah, you did the investigation.
It's public records.
It's public record. You know how many people have no idea this stuff exists? You know that the school has no idea it exists unless it's brought to their attention. And you won't just say the simple question because the allegations... Let me finish. Because the allegations... You wanted to let me finish.
I'm letting you finish.
So, because the allegations, be very clear, the allegations involved minors and allegedly took place at a high school where these alleged minors were, don't you think the school... It's been, like you've made clear, it's been investigated, not sustained, whatever. Don't you think it's important that the school at least know that it exists?
Okay.
Yes or no? Do you think that's important or no?
So here's the deal.
Is that yes or no?
So, again.
But yes or no, do you think that's important or not?
So what you wanted me to say is something that, because we didn't report it to the school, you want me to go ahead and agree with you because we didn't report it to the school. That's not the case. It's allegations. I mean, obviously, if that's
been very, very clear. It's allegations.
If it would have been different if these allegations were sustained. Correct? At that time, we would have reported it. Right? They weren't sustained.
So they don't have the right. They don't have the right to read this themselves and decide.
Now
you know
you're
what?
saying if
maybe
they have the rights. You asked me a question.
Maybe the school would say, you know what? We don't want this. Maybe we don't want this cop on our property. But you're not being transparent enough. and now you're running away from it.
I'm not running away.
You're running away because it's a simple question, and that's you running away. Captain Milan, that's what you're going to do. You're going to run away?
I'm not. Do you have any other questions for me?
Well, we haven't answered that one question.
I just answered that answer.
Don't you think they should be able to decide if they want that cop on their property?
And
they
again,
should be
it's
aware of
public
this. Did they know that it even exists? Should they call every day, be like, hey, has there been any accusations against cops that involve juveniles that took place on our property?
Is there anything else that I need to address with you?
You haven't addressed this.
I did. You just don't want to.
Well, you dance in circles around it.
Your opinion.
But maybe they don't want them on their property.
All right, so you're having a good day, okay?
Maybe they have a right to know about it. But Milan doesn't agree. Just wow, huh? Let me know what you think, but that was the longest non-answer I've heard in a while. Nothing but cop-splaining and protecting number one, that blue line. You can see he knows what the right thing is, but he couldn't bring himself to say it, and that's unfortunate. Share your thoughts, and stay tuned. There will surely be more to come on this. In the meantime, check out some of my other videos. We've always got lots of stuff going on.